There are unwritten rules on public transit. Don't make eye contact, don't talk to crazy people, mind your own business. I followed these rules religiously. But on Halloween night in 2021, I broke the rule about eye contact. And once you acknowledge them, they don't let you look away. It was 1:15 a.m. I was heading home from a party. I was wearing a cat costume, ears and a tail. I felt ridiculous sitting in the empty car. The train stopped at a station in a bad neighborhood. The doors hissed open. A man walked on. He was tall, wearing a long trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. He sat at the very far end of the car, facing me. The train started moving again. We entered a long tunnel under the river. I looked down at my phone, 10% battery. I glanced up. The man had moved. He was now 3 rows closer. I hadn't heard him move. The train was loud, but not that loud. I looked back down at my phone. I texted my roommate, "Creepy guy on train, be awake." The lights in the car flickered off for a second, a power surge. When the lights came back on, the man was 3 rows closer again. He wasn't walking. It was like he was moving only when the darkness hit. I was scared now. There were no other passengers, no conductor. I stood up to move to the next car. I walked to the connecting door at the end of the carriage. It was locked. The handle wouldn't budge. I turned around. The man was sitting in the seat I had just vacated. He was holding my purse. I had left it in my panic. He slowly reached into the purse and pulled out my ID. He held it up to the light, reading it. "Sarah," he said. His voice was incredibly deep. 1402 Maple Street. He looked at me. He had no eyebrows, and his skin looked like wax. "That's a nice house, Sarah." The lights flickered again, longer this time. I screamed, "Stay away from me!" I ran to the emergency intercom button and mashed it. "Emergency! Help!" Static. The lights came back on. The man was standing right in front of me, inches away. He smelled like formaldehyde, like a funeral home. He leaned down to my ear. "Trick or treat," he whispered. The train screeched to a halt at my stop. The doors hissed open. I didn't think. I shoved him. He felt hard like a statue, and I bolted out the doors. I ran up the stairs 2 at a time into the cold night air. I didn't go home. He knew my address. I ran to a diner 3 blocks away and called my dad to come pick me up. I stayed at my parents' house for a week. When I finally went back to my apartment, I found a package on my doorstep. It was my purse. Inside, my wallet was there. My cash was there. Nothing was stolen. But inside the wallet, where my ID used to be, there was a Polaroid photo. It was a photo of me, sleeping in my bed. The date stamp on the photo was from 3 days ago. While I was at my parents' house, he had gone to my apartment. He had broken in, and he had waited for me. When I didn't show up, he must have taken a picture of my empty bed. Wait, no. I looked closer at the photo. There was a lump under the covers. I showed the police. They went to my apartment. They found a man living in my box spring. He had hollowed it out from the bottom. He had been there for months. The man on the train, he wasn't following me home. He was the one who lived under my mattress. He had come out on Halloween to meet me properly. They never caught him, but sometimes when I'm on the train, the lights flicker, and I squeeze my eyes shut until the power comes back on, because I'm terrified that when I open them, he'll be sitting across from me again.